Hey there everyone, this is Jeremy TCG, and today we're going to be talking about our Omnimon deck. It's premiered, I played it this past week's tournament, and it's got me first place with it. It's a pretty fun build. I did see a similar build posted with it. It's pretty cool. There's also, I actually got it from a Japanese player, so almost similar with the cards, but I did tweak it to my liking, and yeah, we'll get right into it, and I'll show you what this deck does in a bit. So for starters, our Digimon egg will be Gurimon. Reason why I chose Gurimon instead of Sunmon is I look at it as not for the Digivolve requirement, but this deck is more of a searcher of its own. So with this card, they inherit when one of your effects, place a Digivolution card under this Digimon, draw one. So we're more of drawing, trying to get all our pieces together. Not every time we will have our pieces, but that's the purpose of having this egg. We'll show you in a bit on how that works, because this is not a full CS trait, but you all know what's coming up with that if you do know all the cards from BT23. Starting with our rookies, we have Agumon from ST20. He's basically your main star for the deck, especially for the warp digivolving. Pretty much then when you get your three tamers or your tamers of three different colors or more, and if your opponent has a 10,000 DP or more Digimon, then you can warp into Wargreymon. So he's actually like your main focus, one of your main focus cards to get. We do have the EX4 Agumon for search. Like I said, this deck focuses a whole lot of searching to get all your pieces. What's good about these cards is when you search for your card, you're finding a Greymon, Gurumon, or an Omnimon for the second set, and you put it on the top part of your deck. You don't bottom it, so pretty much you don't really lose trying to find your pieces. And then we are running two of the Agumon from BT22. Basically, he is your recovery, so you can actually recover. Let's say your opponent checked in security and they checked in a Greymon, Gurumon, or Omnimon. You can use this to get that, or if they de-digivolved, if somehow you had those on the field, this is what this Agumon does. We're only running two of that. I don't really see a need to run anymore because, like I said, with the rookies and some of the other cards in this deck, we are searching through a whole deck. We are running four of the BT22 Gabumons. Same thing, on play, you search, you get one card with Omnimon in its text and one with the CS trait. So he is good to, if you pull both Wargreymon and Metal Gurumon, or, you pull Agumon, or, well, in this deck we do have the BT23 Greymon, pretty much you can put those into the hands for the CS trade or an Omnimon text. And then we are running two of the EX4 Gabumon. So yeah, like I said, you're using all of these to do a lot of searching through your deck. You're cycling through your deck to get all your pieces real quick. For our champion of the deck, we are running 4 copies of Greymon BT23 and just the Greymon. You can do Gurumon. They pretty much do the same thing. The only difference is, let's say you have a Nokia on the board and you are in need of playing either a Gabumon or Agumon for the warp digivolving effects later. This is where these guys come in handy. But I am only just running the Greymon in the deck, not the Gurumon, because mainly you would want to digivolve this Greymon on top of the BT or the ST20 Agumon. So that's the purpose of this, so that you can get a Gabumon onto the board. And then basically, yeah, like his effect, you know, you bottom him underneath the DG and the DG stack. So that's where the Gurimon's effect comes in. We're running now for Megas 4 of the War Greymon BT22. Pretty much this is one of our main guys here. We are running 4 of that, and then I am also running 2 of the BT17 War Greymons. Pretty much I would rather run I ran these. This War Greymon though is in case of emergency, you cannot pull any other Agumons, you can on-play this onto the field, and if you have Tie and Mat, it reduces its on-play to by a cost of 3, so you're basically playing it for 8. So yeah, and his, you know, his on-play is pretty much a very good useful skill to, you know, digivolve the Gabu into Metal Garurumon. Unlike the BT22, it's only when digivolving. But we are running a total of 6 War Greymons right there. Yeah, 6 right there. Of course, the counterpart, we are running 4 of the Metal Garurumon BT22. Pretty much the same thing, but usually in this setup you want to get the War Greymon first, then into Metal Garurumon. But sometimes the play, you may have to do it the old Omnimon way and get the Metal Garurumon first. So either way, and we are also playing 1 copy of the BT17. Yeah, it seems a little unbalanced because we're off by 1, but I just find it more beneficial to have more War Greymons because we are running a bunch of Agumons compared to the Gabumons. But that's the purpose of all our rookies, and basically, yeah, they're rookies. That's what they do, is they do a lot of the searching for you. You cycle through your deck trying to get all your pieces together before you do your full-on attack to waste down your opponent's security. Now on to the big guy. We are running 3 copies of Omnimon Alter S. I would run 4, but honestly I only have 3 copies of this, and other than that I don't see a need to run a 4th one. With the amount I have, or the Omnimons that I have in this deck, it pretty sufficient. I do always bump into 1, or I always draw for 1. So, and if it is in security, like I said, you can use the Agumon from BT22 to get this back from the trash. So we are running 3 of that, and then we are running 2 of the Omnimon BT22. I would run Omnimon Ace. It's been a debate about it, but I do like Omnimon BT22. I do like that, you know, he has a decode effect and he's a blocker as well. I believe the other Omnimon, yeah, Ace is a blocker too. I do like his effects when digivolving. You can just, for every same levels, you bottom deck 1 of your opponent's Digimon for each of the same level, which is pretty good. Another way of clearing the board if you didn't use Omnimon Alter Ace to do that. And always when attacking, you delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon. It's not once per turn, so imagine, you know, you DNA Digivolve this and you do your first swing, you know, you already deleted 1 Digimon, and then unsuspend, swing again, you delete another Digimon. So yeah, I would like to do a little bit more testing between this and Alter Ace. I think Alter Ace would be a much more valuable card, but I like using this one in this case. All right, one of the main cards that will fuel a lot of what we'll do in this right here is our Tamers. We are running 4 of the BT5 Nokia Shiramine. Pretty much she has her on play, and during your turn on play, you know, you play 1 Agumon or Gabumon from hand without the costs, and your turn, whenever they digivolve into Greymon, Garurumon, or Omnimon, you can suspend this to reduce the Digivolution cost. I prefer this, 4 copies of this over the BT22, because one, she is much cheaper to play, and if you do the Greymon effect, when you bottom him, you actually play Nokia Shirmine for a cost of 1, rather than the BT22 where you play for a cost of 3. And the other thing too is her on play, there is no limitation. So we'll compare that because we are running 2 of the BT22 version. Now we do have the BT22 version because she's a memory setter, and it would help out a lot, just to, at least gain some memory. In reality, if you do have Tie and Mat on the field and you play this and then you do the Warp Digivolve, depending on how many Tie and Mats, and if you have the BT5 Nokia Shiramine on the field already, you can pretty much still keep turn, but she is your what is the word? I guess the benefit is just having a memory setter. And starter main phase or on play, if you have 1 or fewer Digimon, you may play 1 Agumon or Gabumon from the hand without paying the cost. Most of you would know that already. But that's the only thing I prefer the BT5 over, is because you can play an Agumon and Gabumon for free, but just for the on play part without any limitations. But she can pretty much say this one pretty much saves you every turn if you lost Gabumon and Agumon and you have another one in hand, so you can play them for free. And she also gives an extra 1000 DP for Greymon, Garurumon, and Omnimon. But yeah, but we are running 4 of these and then 2 of the BT22. Of course, this deck's not complete without a Mat and Tie Tamers. We are running 4 of the BT17, of course, because you gain memory for having a Greymon and Garurumon each, a memory 1-on-1 for those, and also the effect at end of turn. If you have Omnimon, it may attack a player, and that's the benefit of that. But we are also running the Adventure Tai Kamiya and Matt Ishida from EX9, just for either recovering a Greymon, Garurumon, or Omnimon, or just drawing for 1 if you don't have those in the trash or you don't need the ones from the trash. So, and then same thing, the altern part, you gain a memory for having a Greymon and then also a memory for having a Garurumon. Basically this and the Agumon are your recovery cards as well. And then we are running 4 of the Digital Gate Open. This card's pretty cool. We all know the effects of these. You search for 3 and then this stays on the field. Of the 3, you choose 1 Digimon and 1 Tamer. So pretty much this is one of your best searchers, because you are getting 2 cards from it, depending on what you reveal from the top deck. And then of course the delay, you can play a Tamer with the same color as one of your Digimon on the field with a reduced cost of 4. So you can play the time Kamiya and Matt for free, or if you have the BT22 Nokia, you can play it for a cost of 1. And so yeah, this is pretty good. The security is also what's helpful as well. You can play a Digimon card from the hand or trash. So this, if you have a Gabumon in the trash or an Agumon, this will help you bring them back. And then we did an adjustment from the last time of my deck list, and so we did add in 1 Miraculous Mega Knight. 4 is good, but we already have the Nokias that can play them for free. And of course, this is your insurance card, I guess you would say, to make sure that your Greymon, Garurumon don't get deleted or removed from the field. But you would get your Omnimon right off the bat, depending on the turn, during your opponent's turn, if anything were to happen, or if you were to do a check and they had a card effect that would delete one of the 2, I would run 4, but having 1 copy of this is good enough for me. It helps keep the build going. Like I said, this deck is more of you are searching for all your pieces, getting them all together, and having them, having your hand all set for just that one single turn to just annihilate, spin through your opponent's security, because yeah, that's all you need. I mean, if your main big guy is Omnimon Alter S, of course, because you swing trash security with more Greymon's Inherit, unsuspend with Metal Garurumon's Inherit, and then you swing again without triggering your first swing. You don't trigger the end of attack. You just swing again to do a second check without of course War Greymon's effect, because it's only once per turn. And then put this in security, pop out, spit back out War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. And if you have another Alter S or the other Omnimon, just DNA Digivolve again, and you finish the game that way. But yeah, that's pretty much this deck. I did want to do a video on it to show you my version, and hopefully it's more fun. I find it really fun. I do find it faster to play with. It's not as slow as the other Omnimon builds I've had. I really do enjoy this setup. It's, yeah, like I said, it's really fun. You do a lot of searching, a lot of draws, and yeah, pretty much this is my deck version of Omnimon, and can't wait to use it again. Next week's tournament, we will be playing it again. I am building a Hoodiemon deck, and we are almost complete with the Mastermon deck. But there's a nice variation to it. But yeah, this is my Omnimon build. I hope you guys enjoy it. Give it a try. I mean, change it up how you guys see it, how you guys would use it. Even the Sunmon, it is a good setup build too. Kind of like your Waynomon from CS trait, but without having to be secluded just to the CS trait. So, but yeah, this is the Omnimon deck. Hope you guys enjoy. What do you guys think? And yeah, see you all next time.